Good morning, stepsons. How are you today? In a different bathroom this morning, doing my morning shave. Morning shave and thoughts for Johnny, right? How's your week been? It's about time to get back to school for those of you in school, and whether that's virtual or in person. I hope you get to do some in-person stuff because you can learn online. I do it all the time, but not the same as going to a class. So hopefully you can get some of that stuff too. And I don't think COVID's going to last forever. So, that's dark. So don't be too discouraged about that if you are. But I had a story I thought I'd share with you this morning. Thought of this as I was deciding what to talk about and what you might need to hear. Sometimes we can take ourselves too seriously, and we get upset about things, about ourselves or about others. Let me tell you a story. I was high school, and I had a date with a girl that I hadn't met before. It was a first date. I'm trying to remember. I think this might have been a computer date back in the day, which just meant it was randomized. Everyone put in some information about themselves, and then the computer, through whatever algorithm it had at the time, probably very basic, might have been, you're a guy, you're a girl, boom, I don't know, height maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it was a computer dance, they called it, because the computer paired you up with all those that were involved in this. So I was going to pick up my date, and this is before the days of GPS. Didn't know where she lived. Had an address and had some directions, but this wasn't GPS and cell phones. I mean, there was no such thing. Didn't have the internet, and I was worried about getting there on time. I think I got there on time. In fact, my date wasn't ready yet. She wasn't ready to. She was still getting ready when I got there, so her mom had me sit down on the couch in her living room and wait for her daughter to get ready. And so there I was sitting there. Well, her daughter came in, and it's proper manners when a woman enters a room, or a person of honor, I guess, enters a room, that you stand up if you're seated. And at least it was back then. I think it still is, or should be. So she came into the room, and I stood up to greet her. I was sitting on this couch, and they had a lamp. So it was behind the couch, but it had a rod that it was attached to that hung up over the couch. And so when I stood up, my head went like right in the lampshade that was hanging over the couch. And I remember thinking it was kind of embarrassing. And I think maybe she was embarrassed for me. And maybe her mom too. It was no big deal. The lamp didn't tip over or anything. I just stood up and stuck my head in the lamp. And felt a little funny. That's your first impression, right? Here she is. Here's my date. I don't think I went out with her again, but you still don't want to look stupid, right? No one wants to look stupid. But I stood up and stuck my head in the lampshade. Well, why do I share that story with you? Sometimes we do things that we're embarrassed about, or that embarrass us, right? And it's easy to start being hard on yourself as a result of that. Being critical about yourself, telling yourself you're dumb or you're stupid or why did you do that? You need to learn, or it will help you to learn to laugh at yourself too. when you make mistakes, it's okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you made a mistake, right? And you can learn from it and move on. If you stand up and stick your head in a lampshade by accident in front of a date that you're trying to have a good first impression with, then it's okay. Life goes on. And it actually can be a lot more fun if you learn to laugh at yourself. So if you go out and do something stupid today, accidentally, then, just laugh at yourself, learn from it, and move on. And you'll have a better day than if you try to beat yourself up over it and wish you'd done something differently. All right? Johnny, always remember those 2 lessons from every video. 1, you can succeed even though your dad's not in your daily life. You really can. And you will. And number 2, always remember your stepdad loves you. I'll see you next time.